Do you have $1.5 million? Well, that's how much the average American thinks that they need to have to retire. But here's the scary truth. Only 3.2% of retirees actually have over $1 million squirreled away. Depending on where you live, that number might change. If you live in a small country town versus New York City, you may need more or less. But one thing won't change. Most people are still going to retire broke. The system's not going to save you because the pension systems, they're running out. Stick around because today we'll figure out how to make sure you're not one of those people who dies out back in the Walmart car park. You know, the robot finds you. What happened to Carl? Looks like he died. Not great. In an ideal world, pension programs would be fully funded by member contributions. Retirees would not have to sit around worrying about being able to live a decent, comfortable life after working for many decades. You'll be taken care of to the system that you paid into. But the truth sucks, man. They're not going to save you. They're going to be broke by the time you retire, especially if you're around the age of like 30 or 40 right now. According to a 2025 report from Equitable, a nonprofit that studies retirement and pension systems, the national average funded ratio is expected to rise from 78.3% to 81.4% in 2025, while the total unfunded liabilities drop from 1.51 trillion to 1.35 trillion. That's an improvement if you're the glass half full type. But optimism doesn't fund your retirement. There's still 1.35 trillion missing to cover the promised benefits, and people just keep living for longer. Do you know what's more worrying? According to the Social Security Board of Trustees, the trust fund that pays out retirement and disability benefits, it's still running, but it's running out of time. Their 2025 report shows the combined reserves for Social Security dropped by $67 billion last year, down to 2.72 trillion. At this rate, the program's costs will keep outpacing its income. And that's the case for a lot of economies. It's Japan, it's the EU, it's everyone everywhere. The demographic crisis is real. People stopped having kids, and there's no one to support the old people as they get old. But we'll use the USA as an example because I think that's probably where a lot of people watching are from, but the situation should be pretty similar in your country too. If Congress does nothing, those reserves will be completely depleted by 2034. 2034, it's 9 years away. If you're 40, there's nothing left for your retirement. When that happens, the system will only be able to pay about 81% of promised benefits. In short, people who've paid into Social Security their whole lives could see their retirement checks get cut by nearly 20% as everything keeps going up in price. But you might say, hey, the government's not going to let that happen to me. They're going to come save me, right? Don't trust the government. Governments, especially the US, but really most of them, are drowning in so much unbelievable debt that the average teenager with their first credit card looks like a model of financial responsibility. The USA alone owes nearly $38 trillion, giving Uncle Sam a debt to GDP ratio of over 124%. The annual interest payments, more than $1 trillion. And yet people still stress about their credit scores. When the US government, the people who give you those credit scores, is literally running the biggest, most unsustainable maxed out credit card on the planet. And it just keeps getting worse. In 10 years' time, the debt's probably going to double and the interest payments will double. Bottom line, if you think the government and legacy Social Security plans are going to give you a cushy retirement life, you're completely wrong and you're setting yourself up for massive disappointment. You have to save yourself. It's more critical than ever. Now, before we get into the next part of this equation here, guys, if you're trading the cryptocurrency markets, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, dog coins, whatever, you want to get $3,000? Listen up. Femex is giving away an insane deal right now. They are an OG cryptocurrency exchange. They got the liquidity. They got the security. I've literally been trading over there for years. And here's the deal right now. This is absolutely insane, so listen up. When you deposit $10,000, they're giving you $3,000 back. Now that's if you're a new sign up using the link right down below here, or if you already have signed up under my link, you can also deposit $10,000, get $3,000 back. If you deposit $5,000, they give you back $1,500 as well, and $3,000 gets you $350 back. Available to anyone, anywhere. A very limited time offer, expires in just a couple of days from the time of this video. So just, if you want to hop on the board that deal, link down below. You better go get it now because that deal is almost up. If you want to lock in those insane cashback bonuses, go do it now. It's available to anyone, anywhere. You might need a VPN to use Femex in some cases, but generally you should be okay. Link down below. So let's get back to this. Look, let's say you're in your 20s or your 30s. You still have what, 30 or 40 years to prepare? Well, if this were the 80s, yeah, it's plausible, but the rules of the game have been rewritten. Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, said that artificial intelligence will replace literally half of all white-collar workers in the United States. Meanwhile, Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff stated we're in the last generation of CEOs to only manage humans. while also indicating that his company will not be hiring more engineers in 2025. That's crazy. Why hire engineers if robots and AIs can do the same job for basically nothing, without asking for a raise or ever being sick or any of that kind of stuff? And that's just the start. We haven't even reached artificial general intelligence, which is going to break everything wide open. The future has never been more exciting and more terrifying at the same time. Terrifying if you're not prepared. AI has already passed multiple placement tests, including law school exams. It's shown it can outperform most human physicians on the US medical licensing examination. Yeah, look, an AI still is not perfect. It's got a long way to go. But AI is projected to increase productivity in the global GDP more broadly. But it's also going to result in hundreds of millions of people losing their jobs. Goldman Sachs estimates it could replace 300 million jobs in the coming years. And according to a national university report, 30% of current US jobs could be automated by 2030. Yes, it's likely that a lot of employees might have to upgrade their skills to stay relevant, but upgrade your skills to what? Because, tell you what, the AI is going to learn new skills a hell of a lot faster than you are. Honestly, not everyone's going to make it. I think the unemployment crisis of the 2030s due to AI and robotics is going to be equivalent to the Great Depression of the 1930s. Be ready for it. But before then, we have a lot of cool shit to happen. So how can we save ourselves? Well, if you think of savings in the bank as a lifeboat, you're not. That's not. You're getting robbed, man. The national average savings account in the USA yields 0.62%. The average 12-month inflation rate is 2.9%. So that means your purchasing power is decreasing by 2.3%. I still believe that having some cash reserves is essential, but you don't want to have too much cash, okay? It's good to have a bit of cash around. You don't want to have too much cash. That's the problem. You can't just have a giant pile of cash sitting under your bed or in the bank. You're going to lose. You have to invest. The governments and the central banks are forcing you to be a speculator, even if you didn't want to be. You have to buy Bitcoin. You have to buy stocks. You have to be in real estate. You have to save yourself. There are better ways of making sure you enjoy your retirement than sitting around on a pile of cash. The S&P 500 averages around 10% annual returns, roughly 7% real growth after inflation. Yeah, that's not like dog coin level gains, but it's made up of the 500 most powerful companies in the USA. Pick the right ones. You might even catch the next NVIDIA or Palantir. By the way, we'll soon start covering more select stock analysis in our premium newsletter and on our Discord group. If you want to sign up to our newsletter, it's literally free. It's right down here. Go check it out, okay? By the way, don't sleep on metals, commodities, gold, silver, all that kind of stuff. They're going to have a big pullback at some point. They're probably going to be a great store value long term. And I know it's not hot and sexy, but they've held value for thousands of years through all kinds of turmoil and change. Central banks are hoarding gold again. In fact, they now hold more gold than US treasuries. If physical storage is a hassle, you can of course always use tokenized versions, things like Paxos Gold or Tether Gold to get on-chain exposure, which brings us to the gold standard investments, of course. Digital gold, Bitcoin. I know I don't have to sell it to most people watching this video, but if you're new to crypto, goodness gracious, go and research Bitcoin, holy crap, and get some before it's too late. Look, let's look at the facts. In 2010, the first Bitcoin transaction involved 10,000 Bitcoin for just a couple of pizzas, okay? That 10,000 Bitcoin today is roughly worth the total market cap of Papa John's Pizza. In 2011, you needed 162 BTC to buy the latest iPhone 4. Now the latest model of iPhone can be bought for just 0.007 BTC. So if you can get 10 Bitcoin, which is a lot, $1 million plus, it's easier said than done, right? Even if you can get 1 Bitcoin, you'll be a millionaire in the long run. If you can get 10 Bitcoin, you are going to be set in the future. I couldn't think of a more deflationary asset built for the digital age. And I do agree with titans like Michael Saylor or Cathie Wood that Bitcoin will reach more than $1 million after 2030. It's coming. In the 2030s, we're going to have $1 million Bitcoin. Can you imagine that? 1 or 2 Bitcoin could retire a lot of people. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just here to make the case of the retirement system is fucked and the government's not going to save you. Okay? That's the truth. You may not want to accept that truth. That's the truth. How you find a way to dig yourself out of this? I don't know. I'm just presenting options here. My cornerstone personally, Bitcoin, because it still has massive upside compared to traditional assets. That's a 30% annual CAGR, so compound annual growth rate for at least the next 10 to 15 years. But I also believe in diversifying. I hold stocks and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of backup layers that you can bring into your portfolio to provide a little bit of diversification, right? Each one has the potential to beat inflation and compound your wealth over time. But holding cash will not. The harsh truth is no government, no employer, no AI is going to save you. Your retirement, your future, even being able to live a decent normal life in the 2030s AI job apocalypse, that comes down to you, man. You got about 5 years left before it gets really fucking bad. The future is on you. And if you're sitting around waiting for somebody to save you, you're gonna get fucked. Thanks for watching.